Hey everybody, Dr. Tim Turlip here. Welcome to this 3 Minutes to Vitality. And we're going to call those good news 3 minutes actually this week. We're all in the midst, and hopefully you're not watching the news too much and pulling up too many articles on the internet and getting a little hysterical, because we still want to actually fall under the umbrella of let not your hearts be troubled. And the good news actually that we have this week is two recent, there's been a few more, but the two big ones in California and New York, where they're doing some antibody testing with regards to the coronavirus. So Stanford University out in Santa Clara, California did some where they got 3,300 people that volunteered and came in and had antibody testing to see if they were actually something that's called seropositive, that they're in their blood. They were showing evidence of antibodies against the coronavirus, the current coronavirus anyway, that showed that they had it and recovered. Well, that county has about 1.9 million people, and they had about 1,000 cases, and 66 people had died at that juncture. So they did the random testing, and the great news that came back was that it was actually showing that rather than those numbers, there was anywhere between 55 and 81 times more people infected than what they thought. So if they had 1,000 people that were testing positive, the actual number based on the percentages they found on these 3,300 volunteers would mean that that wasn't 1,000 people that were positive, it was more like 55,000 people to 81,000 people had actually had it and already recovered. Because remember that between 50 and 60% of people get it, don't even know they have it. Another 25% get it very mild, don't even go see a doctor. I think it's just a cold or a flu or something that's going on that's mild enough to do that. And it's 15% of us that get it that have more significant consequences, and it's a very small percentage. So that's one. The next one that we actually had that was done on antibody testing was done in New York, and actually just got released actually in the last 24 hours, where they did, again, about 3,000 people. And in New York, they did it a little bit differently. They didn't get like people volunteering, and they said it was one of the weaknesses, and yeah, it could possibly be from the one in California at Stanford, because they got their volunteers from Facebook, which I always thought was kind of funny. Right? But in New York, they actually went to 40 different locations in 19 municipalities, and they went to places like Walmart and Home Depot, and they were actually doing the testing right there. It was grabbing anybody and everybody who would volunteer, men, women, races, ethnicities, religion, didn't matter. And then we're randomly testing people throughout the state. Well, and there too as well, what they actually found was that the rate was actually at about 13.9%, let's say 14% of the people, which was even higher than what they found in California. So if you've got 20 million people in the state of New York, and 14% are actually running positive with seropositive, so they have antibodies for this particular virus in their blood, that means you've got nearly 3 million people that have actually had it. But in New York, they're actually showing that they're at a number of 256,000 people have tested positive, and the real number is more like 3 million. Right? So it's significantly more people have been exposed, didn't know they were exposed, and it's going to be even more than that, because those 3 million people have passed it on to others, etc. Now, why it's not scary, it's good, because it means that the mortality rate is significantly lower than anything we've been talking about. It's much safer than we think. Even under 25, the fatality rate for anybody under 25, 0, right? So it's really, really good news on what we're seeing there. To let not your hearts be troubled. We're going to get through this. Keep doing the stuff that we've talked about. Get plenty of sleep. Make sure you're exercising, lots of fruits and vegetables. Get outside, get into the fresh air, get some sun exposure. Get your adjustment, if by all means you can get to the office to get your adjustment to optimize immune function through neurologic control. Do the basic stuff. We talk about the core 4 supplementation with vitamin D, omega-3s, probiotics are really strong. Those things tell the internal defenses. Follow the simple stuff that we've talked about before, with washing your hands, don't touch your face, do the social distancing. Right? Simple things that can be done on the outside, the really important stuff on the inside, and it's far better news than what anybody thought. So let not your hearts be troubled. Until next time, thanks for watching.